Let's go. Good morning. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Let's go. Good morning. Hi. Hi, Slowpoke Magoo. Hey, Cockroach. Good morning. Let him out. Let him out. Good morning. Slowpoke Magoo. Slowpoke Magoo. I call delicious. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Good morning. Good morning. Look at, hi Nana. Hi honey. She's like, no, I don't care. Oh my goodness. She's having her surgery, hopefully on the 29th. Oh my goodness, yoga. Yes, yoga stretches. Look at that thing, how big it's gotten. Her blood work came back yesterday. She's good. Hi honey. Hi, Lila. Look how much weight she's lost. She's gonna be spayed on the 29th. Look at that. She has a waist. She has a waist. I think she's lost about 5 pounds. I know Priscilla's lost 2 pounds. She was on the same diet. Hi. Look at that thing. And the one on the bottom that was just a little bump, it's growing too. See the second one? Stop it. Stop scratching. All right, guys. We have a busy Friday. We're going to get into this devotional. Thor, you sunbathing, Poppy? You sunbathing, Poppy? Oh, there she is. There she is. There she is. Nana. Nana. Hi, honey. Who's my audience? See, look, it's already bleeding. This is why she needs that surgery quick. She bumps it and it bleeds. Now I have to pause what I'm doing and go clean her. All right, she's all cleaned up, which I have to text them daily to see if there's a cancellation. All right, guys, May 15th. May 15th. Let's see what the title is. It's titled Ravenous Wolves, Mathew 7:15. Okay. Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravenous wolves, Mathew 7:15. Both the building of the Creation Museum and Ark Encounter certainly created a buzz in Christian as well as non-Christian circles. Both resulted in different but similar sorts of responses, but I want to focus on the Ark Encounter, life-size Noah's Ark, and the lessons that showed us the spiritual nature of the battle in this world we live in today. When we announced we would be building a full-scale all-wood Noah's Ark in northern Kentucky, together with exhibits that answer the most asked questions about the flood, post-flood events, and this huge vessel, the centerpiece of an amazing 160-acre history-based theme park called Ark Encounter, it received remarkable media attention. For instance, a feature story on ABC's TV's World News with Diane Sawyer and a lengthy article in the New York Times, plus an item in Newsweek, started a media frenzy that quickly went international. 2 reporters from German newspapers came to Kentucky to interview us, and stories also appeared in newspapers in India, Israel, Italy, Hong Kong, Norway, Czech Republic, United Kingdom, my native Australia, etc. It showed amazing interest. But as might be expected, when a project of this size and growing popularity affirms the truth of the Bible, many in the secular media, plus bloggers, etc., react quite negatively. Misinformation and outright false accusations were made about how the ark was to be built and operated. The same sort of thing happened back when we were building and then opening the Creation Museum. Sadly, even some church leaders blasted the project or made ill-informed negative comments so typical of opposition to Christian work comes within and without the church. Of course, atheist bloggers poured forth hatred as they wrote and have continued to write quickly, regularly, emotional, error-laden blogs and articles against the Ark and Creation Museum. There were also hundreds, by now many thousand, for and against letters and web comments in newspapers and on the internet. The Ark Encounter project certainly created a buzz, and it's a buzz that should remind us of lessons we should have already learned in regard to the spiritual nature of the battle raging around us. Before I get to those lessons, here are just a couple of negative reactions we received back at the time to the Ark Encounter and the Creation Museum, typical of the sorts of responses from opponents. The most tragic part of the Creation Museum on both of my visits was the intellectual child abuse. There's some heartbreaking stuff in this video on the Ark Encounter website, plus a preview of the idiotic Noah's Ark nonsense that Kentucky will soon be known for around the globe if Ark Encounter is built. Not only will the state of Kentucky give $40 million in tax breaks to Ken Ham, that is an outright lie that has been told many times in the secularist propaganda war against us, so we can be an accomplice to such intellectual child abuse. We're also going to spend many millions on road construction to help them out as well, based on the numbers in Ken Ham's insanely inflated fake study, of course. And here is one co-authored by a Baptist minister back then who was in the state of Kentucky where we built the Ark. We represent lay and clergy leaders from the Christian, Jewish, Islamic, Baha'i, Quaker, Buddhist, Hindu, and other faith groups practicing in central Kentucky. As an organization that has been promoting and practicing interfaith engagement and understanding here in the Bluegrass State for over 10 years, we have serious concerns about the recent announcement of a proposed Ark Encounter theme park sponsored by Answers in Genesis. We know many people still hold anti-scientific views. However, when Kentucky presents even the appearance of advancing or promoting one particular version of faith over other faiths or over none, it does enormous damage to the future of interfaith understanding, respect, and hope for peace that so many have worked so hard to ensure. Now, here are the lessons for believers to learn, or to be reminded of, as we see how biblical Christianity is being attacked in an increasingly secular world. First, don't be surprised at how the world reacts. Romans 1 tells us that the ungodly, by their unrighteousness, suppress the truth. The reason so many atheist bloggers and secular reporters, editorial writers reacted so negatively and wrote so furiously against the project and AIG is that they know in their hearts that there is a God, and they actively suppress that. What we are seeing today is just the outworking of this active suppression. Right before our eyes, the warnings from God's word are being illustrated. Also remember that the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately sick. Jeremiah 17:9, Proverbs 1:29 also reminds us that these scoffers hated knowledge. Second, we should not be surprised when religious leaders oppose those of us who stand for the truth of God's word. When Jesus, the God-man, walked on earth, he had to deal with and rebut the religious leaders of the day. I think of these verses. Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravenous wolves. Mathew 7:15. And how shepherds have led them astray. Jeremiah 50:6. One of the thrilling lessons from all the opposition is that God's people saw this attack on biblical authority and became excited to be part of a project that would boldly and publicly take a stand for the truth of God's word in this culture. Thankfully, there are thousands upon thousands in this nation and others around the world who haven't bowed the knee to Baal. God always has a remnant. The remnant in America, I would say, actually numbers in the millions, and an enormous number of people did get behind this project to fund it and enable it to become a reality. And let's remember the lesson from Jude 3, where we are told to contend for the faith that was once for all delivered to the saints. Make sure you have on the full armor of God so that you are ready to be an active soldier for the King. We already know we're living in the last days. I mean, talking about Christ and the gospel and the second coming of Jesus, it's just, people just look at you like you're crazy. And that's why we have to stand strong and arm ourselves with the word so we know how to defend the faith. I am so glad that I'm reading his book. I'm looking forward to our trip back to the Ark. We're going again this year. And I think if you have the opportunity to take your family, especially if you have, if you have like elementary age kids, that's great. But I think middle school age kids really need to get into this this vacation. Like they really need to. They do a good job of explaining things and making sense, because right now everybody's doing it. I'm guilty of it. You wake up, your device is in your hand, you're scrolling, but I know what I'm scrolling, right? I'm scrolling things that are pure and clean and something that glorifies God. And I try to spread as much as I can. I do the best I can with everything I've got going. But I mean, if we can put something positive in front of the eyes of our early teens or preteen kids, it might just open the right doors for them to seek the truth and not be followers of their friends in school, especially the ones that have parents that really don't care. I mean, I am so grateful that my girls are now they're excited to go to church on Sunday. I've paid attention to the kids' ministry. They go to a Christian homeschool group. It's a real school. And my daughters, they're actually, I listen to what they're scrolling and it's cool. Like it's good. And my oldest, she's only 11, but she's the older one. She's reading Psalms. She's reading the Bible every night. Now they're doing chores. I'm like, hey, my mom used to give me 50 cents for this, $1 for that. Now they're like, Apple pay me $5. That's the time we're in, but it's fun. Like I'm trying to like show them old movies and things that were clean and pure back in the day, and I don't know. I'm doing the best I can, and let's change our ways. If not for us, for our children, especially if you influence others. How beautiful it is that their salvation is a direct result of their interaction and relationship with you, because they see your change. They see how you've become a different person. So anyways, guys, God bless. We're fully open. We just opened the other side of the bar, and it's so beautiful. If you're in Tampa, come check it out. Especially Tuesdays, we do Bible study, and it's becoming just the most beautiful gathering place. See you guys. Happy Friday. God bless.